Welcome to another edition of Business in Motion, a program that focuses on business and entrepreneurship from an Afro-centered perspective here on WMEG Radio, Baltimore, Maryland, the number one station in the nation with the dissemination of valuable information with no hesitation or reservation, but a dedication and an obligation to the elevation of your present situation. I'm your host, RGL Biz Coach, and today you're in for a big treat because in the midst of all of the turbulence and chaos, the confusion, everything that's going on in the world today, I know it's very difficult to stay centered so that you can do what is needed to actually make your miracles manifest. However, today, stick around. In the second part of this show, you're going to be given some very powerful techniques, some strategies to center yourself and to be able to make your miracles manifest during these very turbulent times. Stick around. Greetings. Today on Business in Motion, you are going to learn some techniques and strategies that you can utilize to make your dreams, your miracles manifest in the midst of all of the chaos and turbulence that's going on in the world today. Stick around, check out this show.
The all-new WMEG Radio.
And welcome back to the last segment of Business in Motion, a program focusing on business and entrepreneurship from an Afro-centered perspective. I am your host, RGL Biz Coach, and I want to do a continuation. But before I continue again, that song that you heard, that beautiful, beautiful voice was Jessica Cleaves. And for a lot of you, you might not have known, but when it first started, they brought on this female, and that's who you heard singing "Think About Loving You." She was Jessica Cleaves. She went on to join a group called Friends of Distinction. But beautiful, beautiful song. So anyway, with our last few minutes here, let's get back into this right here. We're talking about manifesting your miracles during these turbulent times. Again, the times are crazy, 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 crazy. But do as I mentioned. Again, follow those first steps in getting the divine temple together. And that, again, is through fasting. It is through eating good foods, vegetables, exercising, meditating, yoga, whatever you can do. Do it. I guarantee you're going to feel the effects of it. And it's not going to take a long time for that to happen. Then secondly, because this is where the true power of a person it's the way that we were divinely created from the mental side. And again, with those minds, view the minds as spirits that have evolved, and each one evolved for a particular time. And you got a subconscious mind. Now, each one of these has its own duties and responsibilities, and that's what they do for you at all times. Okay, you got your subconscious mind, which would be that least evolved spirit that's a part of you. It's the least evolved, meaning it hasn't been around as long. Because from the perspective I'm speaking, you have to accept that you transition into a human body, you leave that body, and then you retransition back in it. You're on a spiral. You're on an upward spiral to gain as much information as you possibly can so that you could take it to another dimension. And so, you got that subconscious mind is the least evolved spirit of those, and its job is to make sure that it cares for your body. It does all the things you don't have to think about, what they call those autonomic systems, those things like the heartbeat, the blood flow, and all of these things. You don't think about that, but they happen anyway. And that's what that a part of the body does. But it is learning all about you. It's very gullible, and everything you think, everything you do, it knows it, and it holds on to that. And so then you've got that second part of you, or that second mind, that second spirit, where it happens to be the conscious mind. And that mind is what separates human beings from the animal kingdom. Other animals don't have that. Other animals, they have a subconscious mind, and they have a superconscious. Okay, that superconscious is kind of like their guidance, but their guidance system, and obviously they have to have something that's regulating their heartbeat, blood flow, and all those other things. That's the subconscious mind. But what, again, they don't have is a conscious mind, and the conscious mind of human beings allows you to make decisions and to decree. And that is what it, like I say, you have free will, but within that free will, there are certain things you should be doing and what you don't. And if you're doing things that are considered negative, evil, or whatever, you do those things on a conscious level, but they are registered in that subconscious mind. And so, one of the things that you want to start to do, you got to appeal to your subconscious mind, and you want to start asking for forgiveness for all the things that you did. But before you even ask for the forgiveness, what you want to do is to forgive it. Keep in mind, again, I'm talking about separate entities. I'm talking about separate spirits that live within the divine temple. And so what you need to do is to appeal to your subconscious mind, and you need to forgive it for anything that it might have done, any illnesses that you might have acquired, or whatever. And what you need to do is forgive it. You always forgive first before asking for forgiveness. That is what you've got to do. In doing so, these things will open a path. It opens a path so that there could be a more direct line of communication with the superconscious mind. And the superconscious mind is that entity that was created to be a part of you that's the most evolved. It is most evolved because at one point during your rate of evolution, you evolving to become what you are going to become. And I don't want to even get into that right now because it would really freak out some people. But anyway, in the process of doing so, that superconscious mind in one incarnation or at one point was a subconscious. And through many times coming around and learning more and more and more, it got to evolve to become the conscious. Still you. And it learned, it came in and out, different dimensions, different lessons. Each time it's having to learn another lesson. And then it evolved to the point of being the superconscious mind. Now, as a superconscious mind, it has the ability to communicate with other spiritual entities. Others, some will refer to as maybe your ancestors, or there are other beings, because the creation is vast. It is very vast. And I can tell you, I don't believe anybody, any religion has a strong hold on that knowledge and knows all that there is about it. There's lots of dogma, especially through religion. But what I'm speaking here is not religion. I'm talking about the creation, the way that you were created as a human being. Now, you can take information, you can frame it as you please it and say, well, look, based on the way that, I like the way that these people frame spiritual evolution. And so I'm going to be a part of this one. Another group will say, okay, I like the way that these people frame it. And so therefore I'm more comfortable with this group. But what I'm saying to you transcends all of that. It transcends it all. I'm talking about pure creation and the way that your mind, the way that your body works, and the fact that those minds happen to be spiritual entities that they are on a path, they are evolving, and that's the way that it works. And going back to what I was saying is, once you can clear that path through prayer, through meditation, through forgiving and all of that, the path becomes more clear so that now your subconscious mind can communicate with the superconscious. Because the way that you're created, you don't communicate conscious to superconscious. The way that that's done is the communication process goes from conscious to subconscious and from subconscious to superconscious. And that's typically when you are in a state, when your rate of vibration is high enough so that the superconscious can re-enter your body, get the big picture of what's going on. What are your dominant thoughts? What are you thinking about? What do you want to achieve? If that's the dominant picture, it has the ability to read that, to see that very clearly, and it goes back in the spiritual realm. It is connecting with the forces that can help to bring this into existence. And this is why, again, going back to what the master was saying, Sri Akashana, was you don't have to procrastinate. What you do is you make the decision. You just make the decision, and then you make that decision right. And this is going back to what I'm seeing here. All of this ties right in together. It all ties in together. And what you make that decision gets to be imprinted. The more you think about it, you write it down, you're reading it constantly. You're doing these like affirmations. This becomes the dominant picture that's in the subconscious mind. So that now, when you're in that state, typically when you're asleep, your rate of vibration increases. And when that rate of vibration has increased, the superconscious mind can descend, it sees the big picture, and it goes back to do things to make the big picture manifest, whatever it might be. So if you're thinking negative all the time, then what do you think is going to manifest? That's what's going to manifest. It's something that's negative. If you don't believe in anything, you know what I'm saying? That you don't expect to get anything. Don't expect for things to happen. I have some people around me, I'm telling you, they're so negative. All their thoughts is like, what I refer to as having the external locus of control. And this is spoken of in the business world. It's like, this person who, I can't do this because of those things over there. Well, I can't do this because I didn't. It's always something that's outside of them prevents them from doing what it is they need to be doing to make things manifest. That is functioning with that external locus of control. And what needs to be turned around is it needs to go from an external locus of control to an internal locus of control. And with the internal locus of control, now you got the confidence. You don't care about what's going on out there. You have the confidence to be able to make it happen based on your belief system. And what I'm saying to you, to do the things that I just mentioned, again, tuning the temple, getting the divine temple right, cleansing the past so there's clear communication between conscious, subconscious, and superconscious so that it can go and it can do its thing. You have to have, when it's talking about a lot of the teachings are saying have faith. Well, this is what it's talking about. It just doesn't go into the esoterics.